Hi dears learners. Welcome back to English Learning Learned by Story. I'm thrilled to have you join us for another captivating journey through the pages of history. Today, we are delving into the extraordinary life of a man whose story transcends time and continues to inspire generations, the charismatic Kennedy. So, grab your metaphorical passports as we embark on a linguistic adventure, weaving the tale of a man whose words echoed through the corridors of power, and whose legacy shaped the course of American history. Whether you're here to hone your language skills or simply to be enthralled by a compelling narrative, you're in for a treat. Through stories, we unlock the richness of language and culture. And today, we'll do just that by immersing ourselves in the life, challenges, and triumphs of John F. Kennedy. So, without further ado, let the linguistic odyssey begin. Sit back, relax, and let's learn English through the captivating story of JFK. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to learn and grow with us. Now, let the story unfold, and let's discover the beauty of the English language together. Ready? Let's get started. Our story begins in the early 20th century, a time of great change and promise. John F. Kennedy, born into a world of privilege and duty, would soon emerge as a beacon of hope and inspiration for millions around the globe. Join me as we traverse through the chapters of his life, uncovering the language gems that lie within. Ready to learn? Let's dive in.
The Kennedy family is one of the most prominent and influential political families in American history. Here's an overview of the key members of John F. Kennedy's family. Joseph P. Kennedy Sr., father. Joseph P. Kennedy was a successful businessman, investor, and politician. He served as the U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom from 1938 to 1940. Joseph was a key figure in his son's political career and a strong supporter of his presidential ambitions. Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy, mother. Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy was the matriarch of the Kennedy family and the wife of Joseph P. Kennedy. She was known for her intelligence, grace, and commitment to public service. Rose played a significant role in shaping the values and aspirations of her children. John F. Kennedy, JFK, born on May 29, 1917, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, often referred to as JFK, was the second son of Joseph and Rose Kennedy. He became the 35th President of the United States in 1961, serving until his tragic assassination in 1963. Known for his charisma, eloquence, and vision, JFK left a lasting impact on American politics and international relations. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, wife Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy, commonly known as Jackie, became the First Lady when she married JFK in 1953. After JFK's assassination, she remarried Aristotle Onassis, a Greek shipping magnate. Jackie was admired for her elegance, cultural contributions, and efforts to preserve the legacy of her late husband. Robert F. Kennedy, brother Robert F. Kennedy, often referred to as Bobby, was the younger brother of JFK. He served as Attorney General during JFK's presidency and later became a U.S. Senator. Tragically, Robert was also assassinated in 1968 while running for the Democratic presidential nomination. Ted Kennedy, brother Edward M. Kennedy, or Ted, was the youngest of the Kennedy brothers. He served as a U.S. Senator from Massachusetts for nearly 47 years, becoming one of the longest-serving senators in American history. Ted played a key role in shaping healthcare legislation and was known for his commitment to social justice. Eunice, Patricia, Jean, and others, siblings. The Kennedy family had several other siblings, including Eunice Kennedy Shriver, Patricia Kennedy Lawford, and Jean Kennedy Smith, each making their own contributions to public service in various fields. The Kennedy family's commitment to public service, coupled with their tragic losses, has left an indelible mark on American history and continues to be a subject of fascination and admiration.
Chapter 1: John F. Kennedy's Childhood. John F. Kennedy's childhood was marked by privilege, a strong sense of duty instilled by his parents, and a series of health challenges. Here's a detailed look at the formative years of the 35th President of the United States. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was born on May 29, 1917, in Brookline, Massachusetts, the second son of Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. and Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy. From an early age, John, or Jack as he was affectionately known, was surrounded by the world of politics and public service due to his father's involvement in these spheres. John was the second of 9 children in the Kennedy family. His siblings included Joseph Jr., Rosemary, Kathleen, Eunice, Patricia, Robert, Bobby, Jean, and Edward, Ted. The Kennedy children grew up in an environment where intellectual pursuits, competition, and lively discussions were encouraged. Jack began his education at the Edward Devotion School in Brookline and later attended the Noble and Greenough Lower School. Childhood health issues were a constant concern. Jack suffered from frequent bouts of illness, including scarlet fever, which resulted in his being in and out of hospitals. Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. played a significant role in shaping Jack's worldview. He emphasized the importance of public service, leadership, and the family's Irish heritage. Joe Sr. also encouraged healthy competition among his children, fostering an environment where each sibling was expected to excel. During World War II, the Kennedy brothers, including Jack, were directly affected by their father's role as the U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom. The family's connection to international affairs began to take root during this period. Jack continued his education at Choate Rosemary Hall, a prestigious boarding school in Connecticut, where he excelled in both academics and athletics. Despite ongoing health challenges, Jack developed a love for history, literature, and political science during his formative years. In 1936, Jack enrolled at Harvard University, where he continued to show academic prowess. His senior thesis, Appeasement in Munich, foreshadowed his future concerns about international relations. Jack's early exposure to politics included witnessing his father's roles as chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and later as the U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom. One of the tragedies that marked Jack's childhood was the institutionalization of his sister Rosemary, who had intellectual disabilities. This experience influenced Jack's later advocacy for people with disabilities. John F. Kennedy's childhood laid the groundwork for the man he would become, a leader shaped by family values, educational pursuits, and the early exposure to the complexities of the world, both within and beyond the United States. John F. Kennedy's in
Chapter 2: John F. Kennedy's Political Career. John F. Kennedy's political career was characterized by rapid ascension, charismatic leadership, and a commitment to public service. Here's an overview of the key milestones in his political journey. In 1946, Kennedy was elected as the representative for Massachusetts' 11th Congressional District. He served 3 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. During his time in the House, Kennedy established himself as a moderate Democrat with a focus on labor issues, civil rights, and foreign affairs. In 1952, Kennedy successfully ran for the U.S. Senate from Massachusetts, defeating incumbent Henry Cabot Lodge Jr. His victory marked the beginning of a distinguished Senate career. Kennedy continued to advocate for progressive policies, including healthcare reform and increased support for education. In 1957, Kennedy received the Pulitzer Prize for his book Profiles in Courage. The book highlighted instances of moral courage by 8 U.S. senators throughout history. In 1960, Kennedy declared his candidacy for the presidency, facing a challenging Democratic primary. He secured the Democratic nomination and faced Republican Richard Nixon in the general election. The first-ever televised presidential debates played a crucial role in boosting Kennedy's public image, and he won a close election, becoming the 35th President of the United States. Kennedy's inaugural address in 1961 famously urged Americans to ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. This call to public service defined his presidency. He outlined his domestic agenda, known as the New Frontier, which included proposals for civil rights, education, and healthcare. Early in his presidency, Kennedy faced the Bay of Pigs invasion, a failed attempt to overthrow Fidel Castro's regime in Cuba. The incident underscored the challenges of Cold War geopolitics. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 was a pivotal moment of Kennedy's presidency. His strategic handling of the crisis, which brought the U.S. and the Soviet Union to the brink of nuclear war, demonstrated effective crisis management. Kennedy was a supporter of civil rights, but progress was slow during his presidency. He faced challenges in navigating the complexities of racial tensions in the United States. The new frontier was the domestic and foreign policy agenda that President John F. Kennedy introduced during his inaugural address in 1961. It represented Kennedy's vision for progress, innovation, and positive change in the United States. Here are key components of the new frontier. Kennedy sought to stimulate economic growth and reduce unemployment by advocating for tax cuts. His administration aimed to boost the economy through fiscal policies that encouraged investment and job creation. While Kennedy initially faced challenges in advancing civil rights legislation, he became a stronger advocate over time. In 1963, he proposed a comprehensive civil rights bill to address racial segregation and discrimination. The new frontier emphasized the importance of education, with Kennedy proposing increased federal funding for schools and educational programs. He believed that investing in education was crucial for the nation's future success. Kennedy proposed a series of initiatives to improve healthcare accessibility and affordability. His administration advocated for medical care for the elderly, increased funding for mental health facilities, and improvements in healthcare service. The Apollo program, a series of manned spaceflight missions led by NASA, was initiated to achieve Kennedy's ambitious goal. The program aimed to demonstrate American technological superiority and the peaceful use of outer space. Prior to the Apollo missions, NASA conducted the Mercury and Gemini programs to develop the necessary technologies and gain experience in human spaceflight. Mercury 1961 to 1963 involved one-man missions, while Gemini 1965 to 1966 involved two-man missions and crucial spacewalks. The historic Apollo 11 mission, commanded by Neil Armstrong, took place in July 1969. Astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins were aboard the spacecraft. On July 20, 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first person to set foot on the moon, followed by Buzz Aldrin. Armstrong's famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the world. The successful moon landing was a momentous achievement with global significance. It demonstrated the United States' technological capabilities, bolstered national pride, and showcased the country's commitment to peaceful exploration. The Apollo program continued with subsequent missions, including Apollo 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Each mission contributed valuable scientific data and furthered human exploration in space. The space race and the Apollo program led to numerous technological advancements with applications beyond space exploration. Innovations such as miniaturized electronics, computer technologies, and materials science had far-reaching effects on various industries. The last manned mission to the moon, Apollo 17, took place in 1972. Budget constraints, changing public interest, and shifting priorities marked the end of the Apollo program. The space race and the moon landing stand as enduring symbols of human achievement, international competition, and the power of visionary leadership. Kennedy's call to reach the moon within a decade was not only realized but also left an indelible mark on the course of history and the exploration of outer space. The Peace Corps is a U.S. government program that promotes international peace and development by sending American volunteers to work in communities around the world. Established by Executive Order 10924 on March 1, 1961, by President John F. Kennedy, the Peace Corps reflects the ideals of public service and cultural exchange. Here are key aspects of the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps' mission is to promote world peace and friendship by fulfilling three goals: helping the people of interested countries meet their need for trained men and women, helping promote a better understanding of Americans on the part of the people served, helping promote a better understanding of other peoples on the part of Americans. Peace Corps volunteers, or PCVs, are American citizens who commit to living and working in a host country for a period of 27 months. Volunteers come from diverse backgrounds and bring a range of skills, from education and health to agriculture and technology. Prospective volunteers go through a rigorous application process, including interviews and background checks. Once accepted, volunteers undergo intensive pre-service training in language, culture, and technical skills relevant to their assignment. Peace Corps volunteers are assigned to work on various projects, depending on the needs of the host country. Assignments may include education, health, community development, agriculture, and more. The Peace Corps has a global presence, with volunteers serving in countries across Africa, Asia, the Americas, Europe, and the Middle East. Host countries invite Peace Corps volunteers based on mutual agreements and the identified needs of the communities.